Takiasa, namaste, sarvenire, So, Aksya, Osio, all my relatives. Contemplate. Yeah, I'm still in contemplation. Thank you, Great Spirit. Thank you for this ability to just kind of, in my own way, take a witnesser's seat and just kind of take a feelsy. So, I heard myself sharing the peace between the masculine and the feminine, the forgiveness. Ooh, and that is a self-forgiveness. And this, maybe I have been sexualizing the female body. Maybe I'm the one that makes it. Hey, well, that took me to my childhood where I learned that men only wanted one thing. That we were only good for one thing for the man. Besides the cooking and the cleaning and whatnot, and so forth. And so that was like drilled into me, nailed into me when I was growing up. 1 second, Chief wants back off. Okay. There you go, Chief. Go ahead. And so I'm like, right? Well, then it goes back to the forgiveness piece, forgiving myself for believing those beliefs, for vibrating at those beliefs and attracting that to myself. And so then we have a discussion around peace, making peace. How do you bring peace and forgiveness between the two? Well, it begins inside. And how do we bring peace between nations? It begins inside. And, the world's gonna, as some elders have shared, the world's gonna do what the world's gonna do. Things happen, right? It's how we respond. And then you add the next piece of peace begins inside. And so you need to bring peace. Oh, this is where it really hit home for me. You got to bring peace between the masculine and the feminine side inside yourself. Whoa. Is the divine, I'm just going to sit, I just need to say that again. Must bring peace between the masculine and the feminine inside oneself. And so it's forgiving. And then one of the other grandmothers shared this piece of, was reverberating some words that I guess I had shared back to myself. In the masculine must listen and follow the direction of the feminine. Now, that does not necessarily mean a woman and a man. That means the divine listening, asking and listening the divine feminine within yourself. And then acting on what that divine feminine shares with yourself. Taking action on that. No more, no less. We've all heard that many times. The masculine can only handle one direction at a time. Give them one order. And then many times you have to make them think that so that you don't have that whole power play this is what we have learned, that, you know, you give them one direction and no more, and that they can only really focus on one thing at a time. Well, I've heard many times, there's no such thing as multitasking. Something always gets left undone, or done half-ass, or without full 100% attention. So taking one step at a time. Maybe that's why Spirit gives us one spirit crumb at a time. We're not sure where things are leading, but we're doing that one step that we're being called to do, that next step that we're being called to do, and to do it with utmost sacredity and focus. So it's listening and then taking that action. Now, you could take that out in a bigger way. There are some men who are more feminine than they are masculine. There are some women who are more masculine than they are feminine. And yes, the divine feminine carries the womb and is very, very in touch with their intuition. Typically, we carry a little more feminine than we do masculine. And even in all relationships that are woman to woman, man to man, and even some man and woman, sometimes the masculine, there's always one that is more masculine than they are feminine, and one that plays the feminine role and one that plays the masculine role, that kind of a thing, you know. And even when I was growing up, my dad, my biological father, was a little bit more of the nurturer than my mother. She was more of the disciplinarian. She was more of the masculine, and so to speak, in many aspects of the relationship. And so it has really not a whole lot to do with the sex itself. And then another piece was brought up. When the voices of the grandmothers are heard, there will be peace on earth. Okay, yeah, we can take that into the great big cosmos piece. However, it must begin, once again, it must begin within each one of us first. So each one of us must hear, listen and really hear and take to heart the wisdom of the grandmothers first. And peace will prevail. Well, it's going to prevail within your world, and that's where it needs to begin first. So listening and hearing the wisdom of the grandmothers first, and there will be peace inside yourself. And then we carry that wisdom and demonstrate that wisdom. And there are some little grandmothers. I mean, there are some really, really wise youth that are more of a grandmother than I am. It doesn't really have a whole lot to do with age. Age does play a part because there's experience in age. However, not necessarily, because there's some amazing elders who are youth. You know, they're like reincarnated elders, and we're getting more and more and more of them that are being born like that. So I heard that statement in a whole different way today, and I just felt the need to share it with myself and to kind of solidify it within me by speaking it and sharing it. Peace begins when we peacefully encompass all creation's energies, and we must do that inside of ourselves. So we must make peace, forgiveness, and nurture all of those aspects, all of those peoples, all of those energies inside of ourselves first. And a big part of that, I believe, is hearing the wisdom of the grandmothers inside of us, and then bringing and allowing that to come out and reverberate out. So yes, there will be peace on earth when the wisdom of the grandmothers is heard, when we peacefully encompass and have compassion for all of the energies, and we bring that peace and forgiveness between the masculine and feminine sides inside of ourselves. And you can that is multi-layered, multi-dimensional, on the personal, the community, the collective, universal. I wanted to kind of encapsulate that inside of myself very quickly. And so thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for these amazing, amazing women, grandmothers in my life, and this soul tribe, this Ubuntu soul tribe. And thank you for all of the elders, all of the ancestors, all of the grandmothers and grandfathers that have been speaking, whispering, sharing a part of my life. I am very, very grateful. Hey, hey. Thank you, Grace Spirit. You're all of them. So, thank you, Great Spirit.